You gotta hear this. Can you believe a bunch of NFL teams, because they couldn't stop a particular play, ran to the commissioner's office to try to get that play banned? So what's going on, everybody out there? What is good on the internet? What's good in sports? What's good in life? Mi nombre es Akeem Balaam. The name's Akeem Balaam. Once again, hopefully everybody out there is doing good. So obviously I know I've been a little bit sporadic in between the videos here and there. But I wanted to come on here and I wanted to talk about this particular issue. You probably see a little tinge of green in my background. That's coming from the LED lights that I have set around my living room here in my palatial apartment. But yeah, I wanted to come on here and do this video. Notice this green, because that green might as well be Philadelphia Eagles green. If it wasn't enough that the Eagles absolutely curb stomped the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, apparently the Eagles got themselves yet another win about 24 hours or roughly 24 hours around the time of filming this video. So apparently there was a cabal of NFL teams, and it turned out to be 22 of them. But there was a cabal of NFL teams that have been a little bit in their feelings about this Tush Push play that apparently that the Eagles have been running from time to time. And the Green Bay Packers were really the team that were really spearheading this effort to try to get this play banned. And it looked like, I guess you could say, maybe 24 to 48 hours prior to the fact, it looked like that the Packers' effort, along with the efforts of some other teams, including the Dallas Cowboys, including basically the entire remainder of the NFC East, it looked like that their effort was indeed going to succeed. But it turned out it came up for a vote. They needed 24 votes, and as it turned out, they only got 22. So they only got 22, the play was not banned, and whomever was running the Philadelphia Eagles social media absolutely, in my opinion, deserved a huge raise, because that person absolutely just went off. I mean, like, whomever who was running that social media definitely deserves a raise, because it was social media platinum that was coming from the Eagles account. So it's just so amazing to me that because of the fact that basically, in my opinion, it just really displays the lack of innovation, or really the laziness, I guess you could say, that comes from NFL coaches. Like, okay, so you see the Eagles running the Tush Push, and you see the Buffalo Bills also every now and then also running the Tush Push, also running that brotherly shove. And you're paying so much money and you don't know how to come up with a defensive scheme to actually stop it? Like, honestly. And I think the biggest thing that absolutely just gets me was when these teams that were pro-banning the Tush Push, that were anti-Tush Push, when these teams were playing the safety card. Oh, it's too dangerous of a play. You can't be running this play. It puts player safety up in danger. Here's my thing. When have NFL teams ever prioritized player safety? When have NFL teams ever prioritized the concept of player safety over the almighty dollar? Like, my thing is this. If NFL teams really cared about player safety, then why are we at 17 games? Why are NFL owners still wanting to go to 18 games? Why don't we go back to 16 games and only 2 preseason games? So the whole argument that these NFL owners are trying to do, and these NFL coaching staffs that they're trying to do, like, oh, this is a player safety issue. Yeah, that's clearly a bunch of baloney. This has everything to do with the fact that defenses, they don't know how to stop they don't know how to stop the tush push. They don't know how to stop the brotherly shove. And I'm saying this as somebody who grew up around a bunch of Giants fans, and even I thought that this was ridiculous. So what they wanted to do basically was that they wanted to run to Daddy Goodell. They wanted to run to Roger Goodell. Oh my God, those big bad bully Eagles. They're running this tush push. We don't know how to stop it. And we can't come up with a defensive scheme that can stop it. So we want it banned. Huh? Are you kidding me? Soft as Charmin. Like, honestly, completely soft as Charmin. It is so amazing to me that this is, that this decided to be the route that these teams are trying to take. And like I said, the Eagles on their social media have definitely been having fun with it. And I can only imagine that they will indeed have even more fun with it on November 10th. Now, what happens on November 10th? First of all, I want to absolutely, at the very least, shout out the teams that actually said, okay, this was ridiculous. I believe there were about 9 other teams, obviously, other than the Eagles, obviously. There were 9 other teams that said, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it. I think the Patriots were one of those teams. I think the Dolphins were one of those teams. I believe the Titans were one of those teams. I believe the Baltimore Ravens were one of those teams. And somebody was saying, oh, the Baltimore Ravens, of course they would be one of those teams because they want to run their own version of the tush push with Mark Andrews. So I could definitely see that. But also just thinking about the fact that the final tally on the vote was 22-10. And it was the Green Bay Packers who were really trying to spearhead this effort. I can only imagine that the Philadelphia Eagles are already thinking about, like I said, November 10th. Now, what is supposed to happen on November 10th? November 10th is supposed to be the day that the Philadelphia Eagles will play the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field, and that game is supposed to be a nationally televised game on ESPN's Monday Night Football. So I can only imagine that there are probably a lot of Eagles fans that probably already have that one circled on their respective calendars for sure. They would definitely have that one on their respective calendars if they were playing that game at the Link, but they'll be at Lambeau for that one. So I can only imagine. And see, the thing is, the NFL, like, they absolutely, or at least their TV partners, they absolutely love this. They absolutely love this because if it's one thing TV networks absolutely love and cannot get enough of, it's a storyline before a big game. And that is definitely going to be the storyline going into that game, where you're probably going to have a lot of football fans that probably are going to root against the Green Bay Packers. And it's not often that happens because, the Green Bay Packers have, established themselves once again as a very, it's very easy to root for them now that they no longer have the stench of Aaron Rodgers and the stench of Brett Favre infecting that franchise. Now they got Jordan Love, who seems like a pretty likable dude. It's, so the Packers are, it's very easy to root for the Packers nowadays, unless you're a Detroit fan, Minnesota fan, or a Chicago fan, but that's another story. But at the very least, you'll probably have a lot of folks, like I've been hearing people all day trying to say, oh, they should run the tush push up the Green Bay Packers, for the entire game and make them eat it and eat it and eat it some more. But you know what? Like I said, ESPN is absolutely loving this. The NFL absolutely loves this because, like I said, that is going to be a storyline going into that game on November 10th. So, yeah, it's one of those situations where, there's probably a lot of butthurt NFL teams, a lot of butthurt NFL coaches, and a lot of butthurt NFL owners. But trust me when I say the NFL absolutely loves a good storyline. And trust me, that is definitely going to be something that they are definitely going to hype up to the nth degree going into that week. I believe it's week 10. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. November 10th matchup with the Eagles and the Packers. So rate, comment, react, reply, add, and subscribe. Just one guy reacting to the news of the day. What do you think about this? You like it? You hate it? You think maybe your favorite team ought to probably just run their own version of the Tush Push, run their own version of the Brotherly Shove? Like I said, rate, comment, react, reply, add, and subscribe, because I'm just on here, like I said, just reacting to the news of the day. And also giving my filming space a nice touch to, to kind of fit the vibe. So until next time, this is Keem signing off. Till next time, see you on the internet someplace.